All right. So we've been really long the last several times. We're gonna try to keep this one short tonight. So I'm DJ Flook,
I am Eric Richardson.
and we have no Wednesday night dash to go over this week, so that should help keep things moving. Next week's race is supposed to be at Concord, but when iRacing updated to season 4, they redid the ARCA car and they took the config away. So it sounds like we're gonna be moving the race to North Wilkesboro. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I have not run that track yet, so it might be interesting. I'll
I,
have to get
I've
out there.
I've been on it a couple of times. I think I bought it when I bought the 1987 Monte Carlo NASCAR. It's Monte Carlo, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. And
It's
I've
one of those.
yeah, I've run it a handful of times, but this will be. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So, World of NASCAR. Good weekend at Talladega. No, we didn't really have a big one in any of the races, did we?
Maybe the closest was Jordan Anderson's fiery
Yeah,
crash jumping out while still moving. Sounds like he's okay though.
yeah,
But
that's
kind of the biggest thing.
fortunate. That was scary for sure. And going into the weekend, the Cup drivers were getting more and more vocal about the safety of the next gen car, and Denny Hamlin went as far as saying like this car just needs to be redesigned because it's not. You wouldn't. I don't think you really elaborated too much, but I think we know why at this
Yeah, a
point.
lot of big names have said something now. Hamlin, Harvick has been there. Um,
That
Bushes have been critical at times, I
there was
believe.
a rumor going around that some of the drivers were actually not going to show as a kind of a protest for the safety of this car. But they asked Brad Keselowski, who's owner driver, and he's like, I'm showing up. He goes, I don't. I think he basically said he didn't hear that, but he's showing up, and I don't know. They've got a lot to figure out in a couple of months
Yeah, it's
before
safe to
next
say
year.
there's some things to get figured out, especially all the fires and
Cheap
the
parts,
buildup.
tires.
I think tires are, I mean, outside of the general safety of the car, which a lot of drivers are talking about how it's the hardest hits they've taken, it's the tires. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
they get
just
them the wrong
tech.
way and they're blowing out.
Yeah, I don't think we had a. It wasn't as bad at Talladega. I mean, at Texas, somebody was making a comment. It's like, oh boy, these tires don't wear as quickly. Oh, well, it doesn't matter if the tire goes down.
And it hasn't just been Texas. There's a lot of tracks that tire wear has just wreaked havoc on the field.
Yeah, it was crazy. And usually we don't get into the Xfinity in the truck series, but Matt Deep even I can't even say it. Matty D, we're just gonna call him that, got his first win in the series in his truck on Saturday morning. Um, Dinger wins the Xfinity race
Yeah,
later in the day.
Dinger.
Dinger's moving back to
Good
Cup
for him.
Series next year. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's gonna be exciting. Fun watch.
Matt DiBenedetto. I think I said that right.
And what are we, race 5 or 6, and we finally have a playoff
Finally,
contention
that was
driver win a race.
that was a good race. The fans loved it. You could hear in the crowd they loved it when Chase Elliott made that big push at the end. Eric Jones is the reason why Chase Elliott won that race. He gave him a really, really good push, and Jones fell to sixth, and he did all the work and didn't really get the dividend for it. But Michael McDowell finished third. Good for him. He's
Yeah,
had he has not won this year, but he has quietly had a really good year. He's
he
been
has.
running in the top 10 consistently. I think this might have been his best finish of the season at third place, I think. But yeah, good for him. I mean, it was kind of a running joke for a long time. It's like, oh, Michael McDowell running 32nd. Michael McDowell crashed out. Michael McDowell, out after 10 laps. It's
And
good. I mean, it's
overall, a lot of good racing and watching the lines work together and make moves.
nobody did anything stupid, really. I think
I
honestly,
almost wonder if the drivers were scared and just
I
kind of
think so.
were
Just
more
kind of
conservative.
they ran a conservative race. They stayed in line, but I mean, it was exciting. Blaney won one of the stages. It was a close finish. Although the end of the truck race on Saturday, did you catch any of the truck race?
I did not.
So the race ended under caution. It took a good 5 minutes after the cars crossed the start finish line to figure out who won.
I guess there was a crash that happened, and the flag came out, and they held the field at that point.
Yeah, and that's basically what happened. But they were coming through the tri-oval and for the final time at Talladega, and they had a big crash. And I don't think Matty D was the first one to cross the line. I think it might have been Brett Holmes in the 32 crossed first, I think. But they were just sitting, both of them were just kind of sitting there like, well, we don't know who won. And when they froze the field, it was Matty D. So
yeah, it used to be race back to the line if it was safe.
I mean, it wasn't safe. I mean, for the front few cars, it was fine, but the rest of the field, it was a mess. There. So I mean, it was kind of the big one. But another thing that came out of there, Hallie Deegan finished 6th in the truck race. I think that was her highest finish. For her. Yeah, highest finish in the truck series. She's moving up to Xfinity, I think, for Vegas this year. I think she's going to make her debut. So
then fun to see how that goes.
A lot of criticism of her just not running, high up there in the field. And I think she's a good driver. It doesn't seem like they get a lot of time in these trucks to develop themselves. And
no, it seems like they kind of just show up at the track, get a few laps, qualify, and here you go race.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I've seen some of these. I feel like they, maybe they get a practice the night before, but it's like, okay, we're gonna qualify and we're gonna race 2 hours later. It's just,
yeah, it's not the practice time that the Cup cars get. That's for sure.
And I mean, when was the last time they swapped out the trucks? It's been a few years now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So I mean, it's like, okay, so the equipment, it's pretty established at this point. But I never really watched the trucks before this year. If it was on, I'd watch it. But I've never really actually made time to sit down and watch the trucks.
Yeah, I usually catch replays.
It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy the watching the truck racing now. It's really good racing, and a lot of really young people, like 17 years old, driving these trucks as kids.
The babies are racing now.
But yeah, I think when they come here for the finale, I mean, I slept and didn't get my Cup tickets, but not sure I want to drag my kids to an all-day Cup Series race yet. They're not quite old enough. But Friday night, they're going to run the trucks Friday night. I think it starts at like 7 o'clock Arizona time. Might go see that. So might go watch the truck finale. Saw the Xfinity in the spring. Might see the trucks in the fall. We'll see.
See some good racing there probably.
We're back to the Roval this weekend.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Who knows what's gonna happen here?
It's just pure chaos. I love it. And yeah, they show the highlights, and they show they always have to show the clip of Kevin Harvick wrecking himself from, what was that, 2 years ago? Or was that last year?
2.
These last few years have blurred together. I can never remember. But
yeah.
And that's when Chase Elliott and Harvick were having their little bit of a feud, and Chase made that comment of like, Merry Christmas and have a good, I forget what the line was, but they ended up making it into a shirt after the race, and it was just kind of a big, Chase, big middle finger to Harvick there. Harvick's crew chief got suspended for 4 races for I'm not sure. I didn't read the article, but they some violation. But seems like that's happening a lot. I think it was another one of those single source part modification issues.
Well, if you leave a tire not on, it's not just crew chief, but even the jack man and the tire changer getting 4 race suspensions.
Speaking of tire changer, truck race this weekend. Hallie Deegan was coming into the pits under green. Keep in mind at Talladega, there's no wall that separates the pits from the field. and just some chaos with the pit crew climbing over the wall, and she hits the tire carrier, and the tire goes rolling across pit lane into the grass in between, the track and pit lane, and the crew member goes running across pit lane into the grass, green flag, mind you, and and grabbed the tire and came running back. And NASCAR took his pass. I forget what the term they used, but they basically took his pass and escorted him off the grounds of the track. And people thought, that was a little harsh, but I mean, you got cars coming around.
With how fast they're moving,
or trucks coming around.
Maybe rough, but man, I get it.
But I guess reportedly this wasn't the first oops moment that this crew member has had. So yeah, it's just I saw this guy running after the tire, and I'm like, they're still green.
Wait, what is going on here?
And the thing that the booth, they were talking about it, they said that they should have thrown a caution immediately when that guy went running across, and they didn't. I think they let it go. But yeah, it was just a wild moment seeing this going on, of a crew member chasing after a tire into the infield, and like, oh my God, that guy's gonna get himself killed. Anyway,
everybody's good.
Formula One, Max Verstappen did not win finally.
Yeah, that's a first for a while.
Well, it's been a couple months since that's happened, but of course, his teammate Checo did win. So Max doesn't win, but Red Bull still wins. So
hey, Ferrari, I'm actually what 2-3?
2-3, yeah. You got a dual Ferrari podium.
We got their act together this week. So that was good to see.
This was an early start that I had no intention of waking up for, to see the start, and I'm glad I didn't, because I guess the start of the race was delayed because of heavy rains. And did you see any of the Singapore race?
I did. I actually caught it at the green flag. They were trying to figure out what tires to run,
and there was some premature switch away from the rain tires.
Yeah, and Russell was the first to switch.
George Russell
regretted that.
Yeah, it was just
kind of a guinea pig.
We were watching him coming around the track, and just like that car's not going to leave in one piece. But
what Latifi just straight took out Zhao.
Yeah, and there was a quote that said, there's no bad luck in Formula One. Sometimes it's the engine, sometimes it's Latifi.
Yeah, question marks there. That's okay though.
Yeah, they gave Latifi a 5 position penalty for this weekend in Japan. It's like,
I forget what it was, but even Checo had a 5-second penalty.
It was,
still let him be in first.
Yeah, I forget what happened. I thought it was something with the safety car, maybe.
Oh, it was a safety car violation.
Yeah, some safety car violation, but they basically told him, towards the end, you got to get above 5 seconds, because you're probably going to get penalized 5 seconds here. And he pushed it at the end, and he got himself up to about, I think it was around 7.5 seconds when he crossed the finish line. So when they gave him his 5-second penalty, it's like, okay, I won by 2 seconds. I still win.
Yeah, Leclerc was pushing him for a while there.
And then he kind of ran away at the end, and good for him.
I know that they took a while too to activate DRS, because the track was still too wet, and with the humidity, it just didn't dry.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you could still see wet spots on the track at the end. They ended up going to the clock and shutting it down after 2 hours, and you could still see random wet spots around. Yep. And Max slid. Lewis was having problems with his tires. It was a mess all around. I mean, and Singapore is not an easy course by any means. As a couple of the drivers, and
it's pretty narrow.
Oh yeah.
A hard place to pass.
So we got Japan this weekend. This is going to be a fun one. Actually, I don't know. This race starts at 10 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday night. So
yeah, it'll be fun to see how Yuki Tsunoda runs.
Are you going to stick around or go to bed early and wake up for the 1 a.m. green flag?
I'll probably still be awake, honestly.
Yeah, I'll be
see the start of it.
It's just there's so many 5 and 6 a.m. starts for me, and I'm just like I don't want to wake up at 6 a.m. on a Sunday. But this one, 10 p.m. on a Saturday night, I'll take it. So that I'm looking
That's
forward
not too bad for you.
Nope, that is not bad at all. And then they're coming back to Austin for the following race, I think.
Checking out Coda.
That's a fun track. I really like that place. They're been kind of a yeah, I guess the Coda organizers are a little bit upset about next year's schedule with Vegas and all the attention on Las Vegas and I guess Miami's a little upset too about it because actually it's funny I got in early for my tickets or just kind of a you put in it was a $7.77 donation that went to like like the Las Vegas Food Bank or something like that. And that was your kind of claim ticket to get your tickets when they finally do go on sale. And I'm following the social media, and ever since then, I keep getting ads now. Get your Miami Grand Prix tickets now. Get your Miami Grand Prix tickets now. I feel like I see an ad for it like every other day on Instagram. So yeah, Miami might be a little bit upset because of all this attention to Vegas, but I mean it's Las Vegas. Like,
It is Vegas.
is the course going to be any good?
Question marks are there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
but hey, it's under the lights at night in Vegas.
You're driving down Las Vegas Boulevard. It's going to be late Saturday night. You got the lights of Vegas. You've got the sounds of Vegas. I mean, yeah, I mean the drivers are, they showed that hype video, and the drivers were excited about it just because you're going to be driving down Las Vegas Boulevard, which is a long straightaway. But yeah, I'm guessing the course will probably be not great. Whatever.
It probably won't be super technical.
It's as much novelty. I mean, this race is truly as much novelty as it is anything. But
it's the best way to put it. It's Vegas.
It's Vegas. But I'm looking forward to it. A little terrified of what the ticket prices might be. From my standpoint, I've already decided like there's nothing beyond general admission. Like they claim that they're going to make a bunch of general admission tickets available, and they'll make them quote unquote affordable, which I've seen some of the prices.
Affordable for who?
Yeah.
Is the question.
Well, I've seen I looked through some of the ticket prices for some of the other events. It gets very pricey. Very, very pricey. I don't even want to ballpark what a general admission ticket's going to cost. I mean,
I feel like it's going to be north of 400.
I have a bad feeling you're right.
Yeah, it'd be fun to go, but I have a funny feeling we're going to be watching on TV.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the pricing is before making an official decision. Plus, then again, my kids will be 5, and the race starts at like 10 p.m. on a Saturday night. It's like, yeah, let's take my kids to Vegas and keep them out until after midnight.
Vegas of all places. Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yep.
Yeah, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But, I mean, at least I've got next year. I'm going to be at the Phoenix Spring Race. Probably be at the championship weekend at some point, and I'm planning on going to Long Beach in April. So I'm going to get 3 pretty good races in next year, at least.
Yeah, I should get a couple good ones. I think I'm going to try and get to the Cup race at Michigan. And then I definitely want to check out the Indy cars when they come out to Detroit running downtown this season.
That will be different. So
and maybe get down to Indy for the road course or something.
Yeah, you got some options there. You could always go down to Mid Ohio too. It's not that far away.
That's another one. Thought about that.
Yeah, that's there's some good options. If you really want to, you go spend your 4th of July in Chicago and see the Chicago street race, which I want to know complete chaos that week.
I want to know how long it's going to take for that gridlock to clear. It's not just the day of the race, because you have practice,
like
you qualifying, you got to set up the track.
Like this is Lakeshore Drive, people. Like if you've never been to Chicago, Lakeshore Drive is the busiest non-interstate road the most traveled non-interstate road in the city of Chicago. It's officially, I think it's US 41, I think is its like designation. Like it's a highway, and it runs all the way across, up the lakefront through the entire city of Chicago. And you're going to close off the busiest part of that right in the downtown loop by Soldier Field for possibly a week or more. Like,
And you have so much of the major Chicago landmarks along that road as well.
you got Millennium Park right there with the bean that your friends, you probably have a friend who's taking a picture in front of that with the reflective. I still don't know what the point is. I lived there for almost 10 years.
Science and Industry, Shed,
Sheds right there.
Buckingham Fountain. Like,
Navy Pier is not too far up the road. I mean, it's the 4th of July weekend. It's like the busiest weekend for downtown Chicago. You got
Chicago is insane
firework on
the 4th.
Right. And then you're gonna be like, hey, let's do a NASCAR race. It's just Cup. Is it just Cup?
I believe it's only Cup.
Yeah, at least they're, I don't think they could do an entire weekend or even Xfinity with that. That would be a mess. Like, it's going to be a mess.
I think it's a great idea, but whoever planned this weekend,
that's the absolute.
How do you still have a job?
Absolute worst time to do it. There is not.
I hope it works for you.
Like, the only other weekend like that could potentially be worse is if you tried to do it at the same time as Lollapalooza. That would be
a mess. Or Taste of Chicago's, it's already shut down.
I mean,
let's just do it then.
It's just such a mess. Like, and then security, it's just that.
And it's funny, we're talking Chicago, and we are both wearing Chicago.
Rest in peace to the 2022 Chicago Cubs. Although they did exceed my expectations this year. I was not. I mean, what did they get to? Like 73 wins this year, I think.
They're only 14 or 15 under 500, so that's pretty solid.
Considering that it looked like it was pretty obvious they were throwing in the towel. I mean, this season's like, do you remember this season basically started late because of the lockout?
Yeah.
Like, it's they played the full season in a compressed schedule. It was very clear the Cubs were throwing in the towel, and they still won like 73 games. I mean,
yeah, it's not too bad. And a lot of rookie players and call-ups.
And you've got some decent free agents. So this is not a baseball show, but had to get that in. So
we're on baseball, but a couple quick shout outs. Congrats to Aaron Judge, 62 home runs, breaking Roger Maris's American League.
Yeah, that's an interesting
home run record.
Yeah, forget about those National League guys.
Even Sosa was there, but there's question marks.
Sosa, McGuire, Bonds. That guy.
But still cool to see somebody hit 62, and Albert Pujols getting ready to finish out his career.
He got above
703, fourth all time on the records.
Wasn't expecting to talk baseball tonight, but hey, here we are. So
came up to Chicago, talked Cubs, because randomly we both wore Cubs stuff.
Yeah, this was not planned. This is the off night, just like whatever, chilling. And on that note, frracing.com or frracingonline.com, at frracingonline on all social media and your streaming channels. We'll be should be hitting it up this weekend. I ran a Class C truck race, did not go well. Nowhere to go but up from here. So
yeah, come check us out on Wednesday night. We'll be at North Wilkesboro in ARCA cars. It's gonna be fun. To it. So see if I can defend the race win.
Yeah, you got to go back to back.
We'll see what happens.
We'll do my best. Yep. On that note, we will see you next time.
Thanks for listening and tuning in.